language acquisition device supports the theory that language learning is universal and innate. Most people begin learning their native language when they are babies. Some linguists believe that people can learn second languages the same way that they learn their native language, even when they're older. Do you learn a language or acquire a language? Most people do both. Acquiring a language may include immersion in a new culture. Learning a language, however, is formal and guided by explicit instruction. Let's take a look at some components to language learning and acquisition. It's normal for language learners to be silent for the first 6 months to 2 years. It can take time to build up confidence in order to produce speech. Unfortunately, there are also barriers that may prolong the silent period. Affective filters are emotions that inhibit a student's ability to remember what they've learned. Factors such as stress, self-esteem, and anxiety are affective filters that may block out some of the language learning or acquisition that would otherwise occur. Another factor in language learning and acquisition is input comprehension. We can represent comprehensible input with the letter I. When the learner understands 100% of the input, learning and acquisition does not progress. When new information is introduced, we see that learning and acquisition continues because the learner is receiving just the right amount of input that makes learning possible. Just be careful. Having more than 10% of the input being incomprehensible may be overwhelming and too difficult for the learner. One thing to keep in mind is that learners of any language have a natural order of learning and acquiring the target language. Sometimes it can seem that they have forgotten or didn't learn simple grammar rules, but really they are following a natural process of learning the language. Language learners will naturally self-monitor their output and make corrections as needed. Some learners over-monitor themselves, which may present as stifled speech because they are focusing on accuracy. On the flip side, some learners under-monitor themselves and confidently talk as much as they can, usually making several mistakes. Language learners should aim for a balance between accuracy and fluency. We can't leave out the importance of family. Language learners are more successful in their second language when they are proficient and literate in their first language. This is why it is so important to encourage language learners to continue using their native tongue at home. A language learner can expect to become fluent in their second language after 3 to 5 years. Basic interpersonal communication skills are necessary to start, but learners can also develop their academic language, which may take an additional 2 to 4 years.